Nestled at the feet of the Galugong Mountains, only 150 kilometers from the border with Myanmar, there is more to the town of Heshun than meets the eye. It is a quaint rural village, but it was also an important trade center in the region, home to a curious intersection of Western and Eastern influences. I met up with my friend Brian to first explore some of its distinctive historical attributes.
Hey, Brian, great to see you.
And all this needs is some little TLC.
Yeah, a little love to like bring it back to life.
Exactly, and once we do that, everything just talks about history. It speaks like just culture, tradition.
But you've been in Yunnan for quite a while now, too.
I have. It's been about 12, 15 years.
Okay.
But in China, totally since 1984.
Wow, okay.
So China really is my home now.
Brian's passion for the old ways of doing things pull him towards places like this workshop on the outskirts of town where paper is still made by hand.
街头新庄村，朝致福神明，历史延延长，祖色是才伦。
The legacy of making paper in this way goes back at least 450 years. The process is something of an art, and I'm quick to learn it's not as easy as it looks.
Okay.
就慢慢来，不要着急。
可以吗？
不可以，
还不行。
不行。
You have to get the evenness across the whole thing.
That's true, huh?
And it's so thin.
这样慢慢放下去嘛。
然后从这面来起来。
对。
Okay.
This special Heshun paper, famed for its strength and resilience, requires a slow, patient hand. I struggle with the process. Heshun's historical charms aside, it is also home to some of the best food in Western China.
Okay, let's eat this. This is special. This is one of my favorite dishes, and it has a very interesting story. I don't know if you've heard.
Yeah, so I heard that like the emperor a long time ago, maybe in the Ming Dynasty, he came on a trip to Tongchong under whatever circumstances, but he was dressed like in plain clothes.
Sure.
And so no one knew that he was the emperor, and like on the long road there wasn't a lot of food, and like by the time he got to Tongchong, he basically hadn't eaten for a really long time. And so like an old woman made him this dish that essentially saved his life. So the Dajiujia, that they call it here, like refers to the story in which like this dish was what resuscitated the life into the emperor.
Good job.
Heshun is also famous for its library. The building was created nearly 100 years ago, its construction funded almost entirely by a huge number of locals living overseas.
Wow. So this is the library of Heshun, I believe built in the 20s?
1920s.
Yeah, and it has like this really interesting architectural style too. It seems to incorporate a lot of more European feel too.
I think that this is a reflection of really you had the overseas Chinese leaving a place like Heshun, and going over to, going to places like North America, and they would come back and they would incorporate some of the building styles. It's kind of very interesting.
Next, Brian and I drop in at the Li family courtyard. The mansion was commissioned by a wealthy merchant with a taste of foreign flourishes. The collection features French stained glass windows, Japanese porcelain, and a 200-year-old Italian clock.
这个园子有历史有多长时间吗？
有204年。
这个建筑有一些就是看起来就是很有中国风。对。
这些都是中国艺术。我这个爷爷他是金色，他也设计，我要怎么这，我们这样子照着这样做。当地下午回来， 教过上海东北的英语老师给他们补习，一笔跟着父亲们出去做生意，所以现在400多人都住在世界各国。
For a town of only 6,000 residents, in a little corner of China, Heshun's diaspora is remarkable. The library was funded by nearly 10,000 people from Heshun living abroad, and the Li Mansion furnished by a world traveler. It seems no matter how far people get from this place, its rustic charms inevitably call them back. Thanks for watching. This was just one of the many incredible places I got to visit on my month-long journey across Yunnan. Like, share, and explore the rest of the province with me in this 12-episode series.